Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another week in our fourth grade classroom. Hello. I'm excited to get this week of learning started. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Marieli Sanchez and I'm a fourth grade teacher in South Florida. I'm coming to you right in the morning, 8 o'clock. I have to pick up the students in 25 minutes. So while I am waiting for that, I am hitting myself some breakfast. It's just some egg bites, lean cuisine egg bites, and some sausage links. I have a little microwave, so I'm heating it up right now. So while I'm waiting on that to be ready, I'm going to put the agenda up for today, change the date, update the schedule, and unbox all of these books. I wasn't able to do it last week Friday because I thought I was gonna have time the last hour of the day while the students were working, but I didn't, so it'll just happen this morning. So I will let you know how everything else goes. I'll check in with you a little later, or if not, at the end of the day. So excited for week 5 of school. Hello, my friends. It is now the end of the day, and I have to kind of do this quickly because I do have to make it to Orange Theory in about 25 minutes. But this morning, I went ahead and I spent some time passing out the new materials for the students. So let me quickly show you how those books look now. This is the new Wonders Anthology with all of the anchor text and pair text that we're going to read this year. And this is the new Reading Writing Companion, which is a consumable book that students can write in and respond. It includes reading and writing. So that is amazing. The students really loved getting their new books. So this morning, after we did our weekly language review for Monday only, we went ahead and went into the books. We reread the anchor text and we started completing some reading response questions for the anchor text. And then I passed them out some questions that the district provides for us, but I went ahead and I recreated it into a document so the students can write their answers. Basically, these 4 questions talk about the anchor text and then the pair text and the shared read, which was the talent show, along with our anchor text experts incorporated. So this is the sheet where I included the 4 questions, basically helping the students understand text structure as well as understanding different interactions in the story with characters, events, and problem and solution. I also showed students another Jamboard that I created over the summer that goes over character analysis and how we get to know a character. So I'll leave a link down below in the description below so you can grab a copy of that. I can't show it to you right now because I literally shut off my computer and then I remembered that I needed to give you an update on our day. So tomorrow, if I remember, I'll show you that Jamboard, but definitely check it out in the description box below. Also, we went ahead and reviewed idioms. I showed them an activity from our iReady toolbox where we looked at different examples of idioms and we tried to use context clues to figure out what they meant. So in a sense, we pretty much did everything in reading, but that also meant that we didn't get to everything in writing because I needed some extra time since the students are taking a progress monitoring test tomorrow. So we definitely got everything done here for reading. So I am very happy that we got that done. We didn't have Spanish, so Spanish got canceled. There was no Spanish today. We didn't get to do writing, so we're moving all of this for tomorrow. And I'm actually not to worry about it because we're going to have some time to have the students write as much as they can. And then for math, I want to be honest and say that I thought that by completing the weekly math review from last week, we would have enough time to get to everything in math. But in all honesty, that weekly math review sheet took us the entire math time because I also used some of the math time so that we can finish the reading. So I'm just being honest. Sometimes you plan for things and it doesn't go. So we're moving math for tomorrow as well. So these things get moved over. It happens, people. I'm just trying to be honest. But yeah, so then we had lunch, we had recess, we had PE, and in science, we worked on our comic and patterns of stars in the night sky. The students are going to get little time here and there tomorrow and Wednesday to finish their comic strip for the scientific method. And the students, because we're working with constellations, tomorrow I'm going to give them star finders in order so that they can make their own and they can learn how to use it to try to find different constellations in the night sky depending on the day and time. So that is all that I have for today. Right now I am going to Orange Theory. And maybe I'm even going to the beach just to watch the ocean for a moment because I need some time for me and just to unwind. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello and welcome to Tuesday. So I am coming to you at the end of the day and I have to make this quick because I have been organizing papers. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but there is a bad thunderstorm coming in. So I want to give you a rundown of our day really quickly. Like I said, I was organizing papers because I need to have a grading party tonight. So all the grades are updated in the grade book and it's ready to go because progress reports go home on Friday. So let me quickly show you what we ended up doing today. Here is our agenda. And as you can see by the checks, we pretty much managed to do a lot of the things that we planned except in math. Only because our problem of the day, which I'm going to show you in a moment, took a while and I wanted the students to really engage in mathematical discourse. And then we went ahead and had our math intervention time, which is great. So we had extra math today. And in science, we didn't get to the moon phases, but that's okay. We worked on our science comic and started working with patterns in the night sky, where the students were making their very own star finders. They started to, so tomorrow they're going to finish putting that together, and then I'm going to show them how to use it. So as always, we started our day with our weekly language warm-up or review. So we did Tuesday. Then after that, the students worked on their progress monitoring test for Unit 1, Text Set 2. So the first passage was a realistic fiction passage, and the second passage was an informational text. And the main focus of this particular test was problem and solution and idioms. Then for writing, we kept working with this prompt, except that today I actually had the students work on writing their first introductory paragraph. So this is one of the examples that I showed them for one of the sides of the opinion. And here is the other example for the other side. So some students already finished writing their introduction and others still need to finish writing it. So they'll do that tomorrow when I also show them how to start writing their body paragraphs using a transitional phrase to introduce that reason that supports their claim, along with relevant evidence and elaboration techniques to really explain what they mean by that reason. So this was our math problem of the day. It was actually a video that I showed them and I paused it at the beginning when they introduced the problem. Basically, a person was creating a rectangular section for a dog race, and at every corner they put a post, and the shape was a 6 yard by 8 yard, so that at every yard they also had a post. So students had to figure out how many posts the person needed. So obviously they needed to maybe draw a diagram, but another way they could have done it was using the perimeter formula. So this was my example that I didn't show them until the very, very end. And I also included a geometry fact so that they already start getting exposed to that. Now, this was a really great problem, and I'm glad that we spent about 15 minutes of our math time really working on this because I had the students use their whiteboards to show how they're solving the problem. And then after a few minutes, I had them talk to people around them so they can share their answer and how they got the answer. And then after I gave them time to talk collaboratively, I then asked for people to share their answer. And then I had them engage in either agreeing with the person or disagreeing with the person. I didn't reveal who was right and who was wrong. I just had them share what they thought and how they got there and whether they agreed with the person or they didn't agree with the person. By the end of this, there were two possible answers that the students shared. One was 32 posts, the other one was 28 posts. So after everybody had an opportunity to share, I had them watch the remainder of the video so they could see how the person solved it and compare that strategy with the strategies that they used. I love how just one problem incorporated so many ways to think mathematically, and I really love the rich mathematical conversations that my students were having. So this is definitely something that I highly recommend you do. When we got to science, we continued working on our scientific method comic strip. So I continued to give them some time. This is mine. I'm pretty much done with my visuals. I'm just going over it with a black Sharpie pen before fully coloring it. And I have some of the students' work here. As you can see, not all of them are done, so they're still working on it. So tomorrow they'll have even more time to work on this. Then we worked on a little lesson quiz on Earth's movement. It only has 6 questions. And I started showing them how to create their star finder map. So this one is almost done. I just have to put tape on the back so it can stay put. And then I'm going to show them how you can rotate it to find which constellations we can see in the northern hemisphere. So I'll definitely put a link to this star finder. It comes from Canada, and since we're all in the northern hemisphere, I figured it would be a good one to use with my students. So all you have to do is make sure you print the 2 pages on cardstock so that it is more sturdy. And that, in a nutshell, is what we did today. I really gotta go because it is really raining out there. All right, so I will see you tomorrow. Hello everyone, it is now Wednesday and I'm coming to you at the end of our day together. So let's get started by taking a glimpse at our agenda. So here we go, getting started with our weekly language review. And then we introduce the students to Unit 1 Text Set 3 with the essential question, the opener video. We did the read aloud on Kids Can Help, as well as the shared read on Dollars and Cents. We actually ran out of time to do the vocabulary intro, so that is moved for tomorrow. While we were doing the opener video, I showed the students how to take notes. They weren't taking notes, but on the board, I quickly wrote some of the important things that the video was talking about with regards to how people make businesses in order to help others. So it was mostly focused on small businesses and the benefits that they have for the community. Spanish was canceled, and then we had our recess and snack time, followed by our writing time, math, lunch, and we ended the day with our science. We did push these 2 math concepts for tomorrow, as well as the moon phases, which I'll briefly touch upon tomorrow. I know tomorrow I don't really have science scheduled since we have social studies, but I'll just take a few brief moments to just review a little bit on the moon phases so that the students have a good understanding as we head into next week's science lessons, because tomorrow being Thursday and then Friday, those are my 2 days that I have for social studies. So I'm not going to be able to teach science again until next week, Monday. I also wanted to say that I received my brand new copy of Change Things by Amanda Gorman. So I am super excited to share this book with my students. So that will be coming. Today we started our lesson actually before we went into Wonders by reading Dreamers as part of our Hispanic Heritage Month activities. So we had really great conversations about books, their importance, and immigrants and their experiences coming in to a new country. So beautiful, beautiful book by Yuyi Morales. And if you have an Epic account, I highly encourage you to find the book there. They have it both in English and in Spanish. Moving right along, we have our writing lesson. Again, we're still working with our essay on whether people should build in flood zones. So what I did was I showed the students again some models of introductory paragraphs. So I have 2 that I wrote myself, and of course the one from the model paper. So this is a model paper that has a high score. 442 is the highest score you can get as per our rubric. So we looked at the introductory paragraph, and then we looked at the rest of the paper because eventually the students will write a full essay. But for now, we're mostly focusing on the intro. What I did is I had taken their papers home last night to read. So I noticed a couple of students were right on point and some needed to revise their introductions so that they are more direct to the point, introducing the general idea of what the topic is, which is building in Florida and how sometimes it's usually in a flood zone, and stating your claim, whether you are in support, if you think it's a good idea to build in flood zones or not a good idea, and do a little because at the end of your claim to kind of point out some points that you're going to address in your essay. So as this example shows, because floods in Florida can be very dangerous and cause a lot of damage. And in my example, I put here because it doesn't keep people safe and can cause lots of damage. And over here for the opposing side, it says because it creates more jobs and special building rules can help keep people safe. So I allowed students to have some time today to revise their introductions so that they were more tailored to the purpose of what an introductory paragraph should do. All right, so let's move on to math. So for math, we were working on this Engage New York lesson, and I'll link it down below if you're interested, but it went over multiplying by multiples of 10. So these are the teacher pages that kind of show you the different parts of the lesson so that you can engage the students at the beginning. And then it goes over the actual practice pages that the students have. And we went over those pages on the Promethean board. And this is one of the pages that we were looking at. So when we look at 2 times 3, we put 2 groups of 3 in the ones place and we get 6. But if you do 2 times 30, then we will come to the tens place and put 2 groups of 3 tens, and that will give us 60 tens, and so forth. So the students started to see the pattern for these, and then they went ahead and completed this chart. So what I had is I put it on the Promethean board, and I had different students randomly selected through the Class Dojo app using the toolkit random selector, and the students will come to the board to write the answer to each of these problems. And as soon as the students came to the board and used the marker, I disinfected the marker every time a new student came up, so we were safe. But the students actually enjoyed coming to the board and writing the answers themselves, and that was very engaging. Moving on, for science, we again started by having a couple of minutes to work on our scientific method comics. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and gone over my entire drawing with a black Flair pen, and now it's time to color. Some students already started coloring, so it's just a matter of time before everyone is done with their scientific method comic strips. And then it was time to use our star finder. So I showed them a video from the same site, which I'll link down below, so you can also show it to your students, or you can watch it yourself, that shows the students how to use the star finder, where to look in the sky at night, how to move it along so that you can put the correct day and time that you are looking at the sky. And let me just turn this a little bit. And I just turned it so that it will point to September 22nd. And they can see at 9 p.m. what constellations they can see. If they're facing the south, these will be over their heads. And I started coloring them in different color pencils so that they can actually see the different kinds of constellations. The students really love making their star finders, and when I told them today that they could take it home so that they can try to see what they can see in tonight's sky, they were very excited. Hopefully they'll be able to see something because it's been a pretty rainy day, but in some areas it looks like it's starting to clear up, so maybe by the time it's nighttime they'll be able to find some constellations in the sky if they do go outside. And that, my friends, is the end of Wednesday, and I'm very tired, so I will see you tomorrow, Thursday. Hello everyone, it is now Thursday. So today started out pretty good. We did our weekly language review as usual. We went into our reading writing companion for our wonders, and we did a reread of Dollars and Cents, specifically looking at the main idea, supporting details, and just rereading the text and making annotations. We didn't have time to do everything else in reading, and then the students went into Spanish. After coming from Spanish, we started our writing lesson, and immediately when we started our writing lesson, our school went into a lockdown. So I just wanted to be there for my students and make sure that I let them know that they were safe. We followed the procedures. We waited patiently. We were in lockdown for about an hour. So after that, I went ahead and I played a calm video for them to have a mindful moment, and I knew that learning wasn't going to happen at that time, and I wanted my students to have a way to just relax. So instead of following our schedule, we decided to have recess. And then when it was time for us to have lunch, we had lunch. After lunch, we just continued with our recess instead of doing our math interventions today. And then they went to art, and after art, we came to our classroom and we had our social studies lesson where we reviewed the social scientists and played a lesson game. As you can probably tell by my voice, I'm very tired. I just wanted to be there for my students, make sure they were safe, and it's very hard to put into words my whole feelings and emotions right now. So just wanted to give you an update. I'm waiting right now for my mom, who my dad is dropping her off. We are going to go to the Van Gogh immersive experience, and I'm so glad that I booked it because I feel like I need something like that right now. So maybe I'll include a couple of clips of me being there. But for now, I'm just gonna leave you, and I'll see you tomorrow, Friday. Hello everyone and welcome to Friday. So we finally made it, and I hope you enjoyed some of the clips that I put in from my experience last night from the Van Gogh immersive gallery or show. It was beautiful, and I'm so glad that my mom was able to join me as well. And then after that, we had a lovely dinner and went home. So today is Friday, it's the end of our 5th week of school, and I just want to give you a rundown of our agenda and let you know some of the activities that we worked on today. So here is our reading block. So we started with our weekly review quiz, which went over all the skills from our weekly review from this week. We reread Dollars and Cents and finished annotating the text and understanding the main idea, details, and summary of that text. And we did go over the vocabulary, which took some time. So I had to go ahead and move Kids in Business and Starting a Successful Business for next week. The students went to Spanish, and in writing, we were just working on writing our opinion essay. And in math, we worked on our problem of the day, which worked on estimating products. And I ran out of time, so I have to move this for next week, which is okay. And lunch, recess, PE, and social studies, which I can't wait to show you some of the activities we did today. So yeah, just trying to catch up from the things that we haven't been able to complete from yesterday and the rest of the week. And it's okay that I have to move some things next week. Next week in reading, we have sort of like a week where we can catch up on some things. So I want to make sure I use it for that. So let me show you the problem of the day. So I went ahead and I did this similar to the other problem that I talked about before. I showed our Math on the Spot video from Go Math, and I paused it right when Professor Berger gave the problem. I had the students work it out on their whiteboards and then talk to each other to discuss the results. So in this problem, the students had to kind of determine whether the exact amount of something was going to be less than or greater than the estimated result. So let me show you my problem. Now, I do want to say that after the students talked amongst themselves, we had a couple students share their answers, and of course, we had them agree or disagree with each other to determine whether they got the same answer or not, and then I had them watch the rest of the video. And after all of that, I show them my interpretation. So we got the information from the problem. The first step was to actually round this number to the nearest thousand. So of course, number lines are our friends, and this is where that number will go. So we multiplied that and got this, which was the estimated amount. So because we rounded up, our actual exact amount would be less than the estimated amount. And I did include my check here, but the students didn't need to do this. It's just something that I showed them as a possibility that they could do in the future. They are still learning strategies to multiply like this. So for now, they're just working on estimating products and understanding whether the exact amount was below or above the estimated amount. So again, the students love using the whiteboards, and they also love the opportunity to talk amongst each other and kind of use that mathematical language to determine how they got to their answer and the strategies that they used. So of course, after that, we had our break of lunch, recess, PE, and we ended the day with social studies. So I want to show you what we ended up doing today. With social studies, the students took their chapter 1 test on discovering the social sciences. So this is the test right here. And right after that, I took them to Flocabulary to watch the regions of the U.S. video. The students watched the video first, and then I gave them the printed lyrics with the fill in the blanks so that they could listen to it a second time and fill in the blanks as they listened. So here it is. This is one of the printables that you can get from the Flocabulary video. And they were so listening and attentive to the video as they tried to figure out the words that belonged in each of the blank spaces. The song is very catchy, so they absolutely loved listening to the chorus. And of course, it was time for an exit ticket, and this is what I gave them. Here's the little exit ticket. All they had to do was label each of the regions of the United States in the proper place where they belong. Needless to say, they loved the lesson. It was engaging. That one video turned out into the main lesson for today in social studies, and it basically reviewed all of the things that we would have done in our chapter anyway. They updated the video for regions of the U.S. to include more details of each region. So next week, we're going to piggyback on that, and the students are going to take notes so that they understand the different characteristics of each region and why those states are grouped together. You know something, I completely forgot to mention something that we did for writing, because we did do writing today. The students were working on writing their first body paragraph, and for some of the students that were ready, they continued writing the rest of their body paragraphs along with finishing their essay. Just so that I can get an idea of their writing skills, when I go grade their writing, I'm only looking for their introduction, which we extensively went over, as well as at least one body paragraph to see how they cited their sources and use relevant evidence, since that is another lesson that we have been working on. And this is what I included on the board so that the students knew how they would be successful in today's writing lesson. So I wrote the success criteria on the board so they would know exactly what they needed to do during the writing lesson so that they would be successful. We went over the hamburger paragraph so that they had an idea of what to do as they were writing their body paragraphs. And I also included my TREE acronym so that they remember that a body paragraph starts with a transition, includes a reason or idea to support their claim or opinion, and then supports that claim or opinion with evidence and elaboration. I also use Flocabulary with this, and I show them the paragraph video that goes over the different parts, and it was about hamburgers, and I have to say something funny. So in writing, we were talking about hamburgers and how we can make a really meaty paragraph, and then by the time we finished writing, it was time for math. So of course, we had our Professor Burger. He was talking about hamburger meat, and at the end of the video, he ate a hamburger. And I'm just gonna say, the students were like, oh no, not again. They were already getting hungry because math is right before lunch, and lunch is at 12:05. So yeah, by the time we finished that, they were ready to go, and so was I. So I really wanted to make sure I showed you what we did today for writing. Also, one of my 4th grade teachers walked around and brought me this cute little succulent. Super, super cute. Thank you so much. So here is the video for paragraph writing, which was really great and went spot on with my writing lesson. And here is the Flocabulary video for the regions of the United States. And to find those lyrics, I just went into Teacher Resources, go to Handouts, and if you scroll down below these, right here is the fill in the blank lyrics, and that's what I printed. We also went over the vocabulary cards, and we started the vocabulary game, but we didn't finish it. So we'll use it as a review next week, and now it's loading and it won't show. But basically, different definitions will come up, and as the students answer the questions, as you can see, as they answer the questions, they will add different instruments to the beat that is already playing in the background. So that was a great activity that the students were engaged in at the end of the day. And next week, again, we'll review it, and I'll have them take the quiz on the regions of the United States from Flocabulary, which you could do online. I will just have the students come to the board if I want to do that. Or I can go back to Teacher Resources, scroll down, and here is the quiz that I can download, print, and give to the students. So that, my friend, is all that I have for you for this week, and I hope that you enjoyed coming along with us. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile. Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you, because you are capable of great things. See you next time.